Hey guys, welcome back to Momeni's channel. So today I thought I would cook something up for you guys. So today I will be showing you guys how to make carne con chile. So right now I'm gonna go to the store. I actually forgot to get some things I need to make the carne con chile. So we're gonna go ahead and bust a mission, and yes, so hope you guys like it. So I just pulled up to the store and I brought a little assistant with me, Josiah. Hi. So you're gonna be my assistant today, Josiah? Okay, let's get it started then. We need to get...
the things that we're gonna get for the food.
What do we need to get?
We need to get the things for the food.
Yes, we need to get the things for the food. So, what you guys need to get, guys, you need to get tomatillos and you need to get tomatoes. So that's what we're gonna start with right now. So we're gonna go pick up some good tomatillos. Okay, we're gonna take that one. So like these are the ones I usually get, you guys. I think these are called Roma tomatoes. But it's like whatever you prefer. Hold it right, puppy. Here, throw that one in there. There you go. Alright, let's move on to the next. So I don't know about you guys, but I love aguacates. Like, no Mexican meal is complete without aguacates. So let's see which ones are good. And with aguacates, whenever you're picking them out, you don't want them to be too squishy, but you also don't want them to be too hard. You kind of want them like in between. Depending if you want to eat them right away, that's how I would pick them out. If you're gonna let them sit for a while, then I would get them green then, just so that no se te vayan a echar a perder. You guys, this is right here fucking Mexican horror story right here. There's no more chiles serranos. Me and the twins live off of these chiles. I can't believe this. Alright, you guys, so the next item you're gonna need is tomatillos. So these are like the green, they're like green tomatoes, I guess. They're just a little smaller. So go ahead and throw that in our bag, Josiah. Oh, that one's not good. Here. And then depending on how big your family is gonna determine how many you're gonna wanna use. So usually I get about maybe like 6 or 7 just because there's a lot of us. And I always like to make extra food, like just so everybody has to pack for lunch. Okay, you ready, Saya? How many do we got in there? Let me see.
There's a lot.
There's a lot? Okay, we should be good. We need to get aceite. Hey guys, so we're almost done. Me and Josiah are just bagging up our groceries.
I'm here to make an appearance in Mo's channel. Are you ready, Saya? You're gonna be Biki's assistant? You're gonna help her? Yay, how exciting. Okay, so you're starting. So what are you doing?
So right now I'm peeling the tomatillos.
Okay.
So for those of you guys that have never fucked with tomatillos, this is how you peel it. So like I said before, it like depends on how much food you're gonna make. We're kind of a big family, so I always use about maybe like 6, 7 or 8. I don't know, I just kind of play with the recipe. But that's basically what you're gonna use. Okay, you guys, so we're gonna get ready to start chopping up our meat. So the type of meat that I use for my carne con chile is milanesa. So usually I get the family pack because like I said, we have a big family, so that's the kind of meat that I buy for this. So usually if it has like a lot of fat, I'll just take off the fat, but this one doesn't look too bad, so we're just gonna start chopping it up. So I usually just start chopping it up like this, kind of like into strips. And then from there, I'm gonna start cutting it up in squares. This would be so much easier if I had the knives that Salt Bay has, but since we don't have those, we're gonna work with what we got. Okay. One day. I'm just chopping it up like this, just so that they could look like little cuadritos, like little squares. I usually like to chop up my meat kind of like into small squares, but it just depends on the person. Some people like big pieces of meat. I prefer mine small.
Same.
Does that sound primitive?
A little bit.
Okay, so Brittany's helping me make the rice because I cannot make rice for the life of me. So, what do you?
This is usually my part that I do. Is just the rice.
Yes,
And
Brittany.
then I'm just her assistant, Mo's assistant.
Brittany is my assistant / my guinea pig because I always have her taste the salsa to make sure it's good.
Yeah.
So, what are you doing right now?
So I just heated up the oil. I put a garlic, and now I put in exactly 1 cup of rice. So I'm just gonna brown it.
And I already got my frijoles nice and boiled. I like frijoles fritos, so that's what I'm gonna do with my beans. But some people prefer frijoles de la olla, which is just eating them straight out like that. So it just kind of depends on you guys. So
Yeah, I like them smashed too. Those are my favorite.
yeah, I like mine smashed. I don't really get the boiled part, but
I feel like
whatever.
they don't really have flavor when it's like that. I mean, they do have flavor, but
This is my meat, so I'm almost done cutting. Okay guys, so for the salt, I kind of cook like my mom. So what that means is like, you know, you try to ask your mom for like a recipe on how much salt do I put in it, and she's like, ay, pues nomás la tanteas, like whatever that means. So I guess basically what she means by that is it's basically however much salt you usually add onto your food. It just kind of depends on you. Some people like to eat a lot of salt, some people don't. So it's just kind of like your preference. So I know my la tantean la sal, you guys. So I'm just gonna go ahead. I already put some on here earlier, so I'm just gonna add a little more. And now I'm gonna throw the garlic salt in. Now I don't put as much, like I don't put the same amount of garlic salt as I did with the Lori's. I just kind of sprinkle it over one time because you don't want to put too much. And now you're gonna add your pepper. And now I'm gonna mix my meat just so that I could get the salt mixed in, okay? And then for those of you guys who are barely starting to cook, for the salt, it's kind of tricky. So I would just kind of add salt as you go. So you could just start out little by little, and if you see that it needs more salt, then you could just add into it. That's usually what I do. I don't just put it in all at once. I just kind of go. I add it as I go. And whenever I cook, I usually cook with those 3 seasonings. So basically, I usually use the Lori's, the garlic salt, and pepper. Alright, you guys. So now, vamos a hacer los tomatillos. For those of you who don't know Spanish, basically we're gonna put the tomatillos on a comal. How do you say comal in English?
a tortilla maker. No, a tortilla toaster.
No, Brittany, just... Okay, a comal, I don't know how to say it in English, but this is a comal. Basically, we use this to warm up our tortillas. You're gonna put it on low. What I recommend is if you guys have aluminum foil, I would use that to put on your comal just so that the tomatillos don't get stuck on your comal. I would put some on, but I actually don't have any. But I really recommend for you guys to use it. But you're gonna put your tomatillos on here. So you're gonna start throwing your tomatillos on the comal. Where'd you guys get this comal at, Brittany?
Walmart.
So they have these comals at Walmart. And then we're gonna also, so for this recipe, you're gonna have more tomatillos and tomatoes. I'm only gonna use maybe like 2 tomatoes. One thing for this, you want your tomatillos to be a little burnt. You want them to be burnt from the bottom. Oh, you don't really want to keep flipping them. They should, you want to try and get them burnt like as much as you can all around it, but you want to put it at a low fire. Also, what you're gonna throw on here.
So I'm sorry you guys, I did not do a step-by-step on the rice. I have 2 pieces of onion and I'm just letting it come to a boil, and then I'm gonna put it on low so it can cook.
Okay, so this is gonna be for the beans. So now what I gotta do is I gotta fry a piece of onion. So I threw a little bit of oil in here just to cook my onion a little bit, and that's what I'm gonna use for the salsa. And you're just gonna throw a piece in there, and you want it at low fire because you just want it cooked a little bit. You don't want to overdo it. I'm gonna throw in a little extra just in case, because you never know how much you're gonna need. And also, you're gonna throw a piece of ajo on the comal, because you also want to cook the ajo. And then your tomatillos should start to look like this, you guys. So once they're cooked about this much, then they're good to flip over. I just try to be careful because you don't want the burnt part to come off, because that's what's gonna give your salsa flavor. So make sure the burntness comes off, like stays on as you flip it over. And it's way easier when you have foil paper on this because it doesn't get stuck.
But we ran out, you guys.
Yeah, so I'm lucky that these aren't getting stuck right now.
Yeah, so make sure, you guys, it's easier just to keep it with the foil paper.
This one's not cooked enough. Okay, you guys, so for this I had to open my window because shit's about to get real. So now I'm gonna make my frijoles fritos. So these are chiles de árbol. So depending on how spicy you want your chiles, that's how many you would put. You don't have to fry your frijoles like this. Some people just deep fry them with oil. I kind of like the spiciness of the chiles, so make sure that your thing is on low fire because you don't want them to get too burnt. So I'm probably gonna put like 4 in there. And I already took my onion out. So your onion, you don't want to overcook it for the salsa. You only want to put it in there for maybe about a minute and then just take it out. And then this is what my tomatillos look like. So they're getting nice and burnt. And if they start getting stuck, then shit, I'm having technical difficulties, guys. Okay, guys, so now I'm gonna get started on my salsa. Now that my tomatillos and my tomatoes are nice and burnt. So now I'm gonna start taking them out. So your tomatillos should look like this. So see how they're nice and burnt? And if they start getting stuck, try to get something that's gonna scrape it off because you want to get the burnt part, because that's what's gonna give your salsa flavor. And then, like I said, if you're not a pro, you could always make a little bit of extra tomatillos just in case, just to get your salsa right. Because usually when I started out with this recipe, sometimes I wouldn't get enough tomatillos, or sometimes I would get too many of them. So I would just cook a couple extra ones, and like I said, I would just add as I go. So in this, I'm using 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I'm using 7 tomatillos and then 2 tomatoes. And I already threw my grilled garlic in there. I only use 1 garlic clove. So make sure you only use 1 garlic clove, a piece of onion, and then the 2 tomatoes, and then your 7 tomatillos. And then also your chiles. My chiles are already getting toasty, so now I'm going to put them on the side. And then usually I try to do like everything at once, and then sometimes it doesn't work out for me. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna take my chiles out so I could finish doing my salsa, and then I could throw them back in just so that everything don't get burnt. Okay, you guys, so now I'm gonna throw a little bit of oil so I can start cooking my meat. So I'm gonna put a little bit just so it doesn't stick to the pan. You don't want to put too much. So now we're gonna throw the meat in there. And also, it'll cook faster if you have a tapadera, but since I'm barely getting this channel started and I haven't invested in like new ollas and tapaderas, we're gonna cook like this. But it'll still cook, it just cooks a little faster when you have a tapadera on
It still comes out A1 to me.
it. Yeah.
So,
And tapadera is half for those that you don't
we're
know
most
Spanish.
teaching you guys Spanish also.
Yes, I want everybody to understand what I'm saying, so I'm gonna try to translate everything I say. Because,
Tapadera. Cat.
yeah. Thank you, Brittany. Okay, so now we're gonna get started on the salsa at the same time. So we're gonna try to multitask here. Is it okay to do that, or is like gonna be?
No, yeah.
Okay, so let's see. Fuck.
What?
Se me olvidó hacer chiles.
You needed to do that?
Yeah.
Shit.
Shit. Okay. It's cool. It's cool. We got this. So I'm gonna slap my comal back on. So I forgot to tell you guys too. We need to grill some chiles. So this is gonna actually be for the salsa. And like I said, on how it just depends on how spicy you like your food. Everybody in this house likes spicy food.
Ooh,
So
yes, we do.
we usually make all our food spicy.
We like to suffer.
So I usually cook like 6, maybe 7, and then don't throw them all in at once. You could add them little by little, and you know, if you want your salsa more spicy, then you just add it on little by little.
Like in the blender, right?
Yeah. So then also the chiles that we're gonna mainly use. This is our chile drawer.
The chile drawer.
Chile California.
You guys, it's starting.
You guys, don't forget to open up your window. At least I'm giving you guys a fucking heads up. Because, you know, your mom don't be telling you when she's doing this shit. Next thing you know, you can't breathe.
Look at you guys. I'm gonna die. I cannot take this.
Everybody, don't breathe.
I've already died. No, for real. Breathe through your nose. Vicky?
If you had problems breathing before, all your problems are going to go away now. Because your sinuses are going to be on point right now.
Okay.
Alright guys, so the next chiles that you're going to asar van a ser los chiles pasillas. So this is what they look like. There's different brands, but it's all pretty much the same thing. So it's chile pasilla. So what you want to do, and like I said, make sure that you have low fire, porque si no se te van a quemar a la verga. First you want to take your stem out. And you want to take your seeds out. So I usually just open them up. And then your chiles, you guys, you don't want to leave them on the comal for so long because they might get like, I think my mom said that they turn sour. So you only want to leave them on there for maybe like a minute or 2 and that's it. No longer. So I'm going to put, so because I'm kind of making a lot of food, I'm going to do like maybe like 4 or 5. And then like I said before, you could just add on as you go. This one I already flipped, so I could go throw it in there now. Some of these are small, so I might use more than 4. And be careful when you guys are grabbing the chile de árbol, like once it's toasted, because se te puede enchilar la mano. So try to use a fork. But if you're, I usually just grab them. Then my hands are burning, so do it at your own risk, guys. Fuck, estos chiles también pican. Okay, guys, so my chiles are done. Now we're gonna throw them in the blender. So then also what I do is these are clavos. So you could put maybe like 1 or 2. When my mom first gave me this recipe, I was like, what the fuck, you put clavos in it? And she was like, yeah, like it gives it a different flavor. So the first time I made it, I didn't think it would make a difference, so I just didn't add clavos. But then once I made it the second time, I did notice it gave it a little bit of a different flavor. So now I just use clavos every time I use it.
What are they called in English for people that don't know?
They're cloves. Also, something else you're gonna need is, how do you say this? Cumin? Sorry guys, I had to Google what this shit was called because it doesn't have a thing. Okay, so it's called comino in Spanish. In English, it's cumin. So with this, you guys, you have to be very careful. You do not want to put too much in it. The first time I made this recipe, I fucked up because I put a little too much. Fuck, the chile's still in the air. So what I do, I just use my nail. But you barely want to use like the tip or whatever you're using, whether it be a spoon or, I use barely like this much.
Wow,
like you barely, yeah, because it's very strong. So if you're gonna use a spoon, barely dip it in there. Like barely, guys. And then whatever you got on the tip is what you're gonna use. So you don't want to use too much because the flavor to cumin is very strong, and you don't want it to take over your salsa. Also, I did want to tell you guys too, when you're asando los tomatillos, you also could fry them with a little bit of oil instead of using the comal. So I usually kind of switch it back and forth. I kind of like the taste that it has with the burnt tomatoes and the burnt tomatillos, which is why I did it like this today. Also, this is the kind of salt that we use. It's sal bajia. So this salt is really good. It's kind of like, I don't know, for some reason it's like a natural flavor to me. So this is what we usually use. And again, ahí le van a tantear and the salt. You guys are gonna put however much salt you guys like to having your food. Some, like I said, some people like a lot of salt and then some people don't. So now we're gonna get some water to put in our salsa. You don't want to put too much water because you do not want your salsa to be too watery. So I usually just fill it up a little bit, like to the right here. And then like I said, you could add as you go. That's basically my best tip for you guys. Just add as you go. Don't, if it's your first time making something, don't throw it all in at once because you kind of got to get the hang of it. So just start adding it little by little. So that's basically what I do with my salt. I'm gonna try out like this much first to see how it turns out. And if it needs more, then we could add more. Okay. So now I'm gonna add my chiles de árbol. So just to start, damn, this shit is potent.
We are dying.
Okay. So just to start out, I'm gonna put like 4 of them in there. And then if I want it spicier, then I'll just add more. And then I feel like my salsa looks a little thick, so I'm just gonna add a little bit. But not too much. Don't overdo it on the water because you do not want your salsa to be too watery. We're gonna try this. Okay, so it needs a little more salt. So I'm gonna throw more salt in there. And then I'm gonna throw a little bit more water. Okay, Brittany, I need you to be my guinea pig. Okay, let me taste it first. Okay, tell me what you think. Yeah. Does it good or does it need more salt?
I think it's good.
Okay, cool. Alright, guys, so now that our salsa is done, also I forgot to mention, like I told you guys earlier about the tomatillos and the tomatoes, how you could just fry them with a little bit of oil. That also includes the chiles de árbol and the chile pasilla. You guys could also just fry them for a little bit, no more than a minute or two, and just throw them in there. So now we're gonna make our frijoles fritos. So now I'm gonna get started on my beans. Whenever I make my my beans, I usually throw in a piece of garlic in there with a piece of onion along with salt. And here.
Oh, in it.
And then so usually when I start to make my refried beans, I usually just scoop out the piece of garlic, and then I'm usually able to take out my onion, but it kind of went apart. So basically what I'm doing, I'm just frying a little piece of onion, and then I'm gonna throw my chiles back in there along with the garlic that I took out of my my beans. Now my dad actually put me on right here with this. So instead of...
That was a good investment.
Yes, this was a good investment, you guys. So
we were all mad.
We were all mad because we had to split. Like,
He took it to the store. He's like, you guys are gonna buy this for the house, and we were like hella mad because we all had to split it. We're like, we don't need it. Like, it's just unnecessary stuff.
we didn't use it for the first like 2 months.
yeah, so at the time I thought it was a stupid idea until I started making the beans. So it's a very good investment, you guys, because instead of having to press down on the instead of having to smash your beans, you basically could just use this. This is called a cuisiner. A lot of people too, what they do is they throw in their beans in the blender if you don't want to smash them, but that's optional. You can smash them old school, it doesn't really matter. So now I'm gonna throw my beans in here. So I'm gonna let my beans boil for a little bit, and once they're boiled, then I'm gonna start smashing them. And the reason why I put the chiles in the oil to begin with was because as the chiles are cooking inside the oil, it starts giving the oil the flavor like of the chile. So basically when you start cooking your beans, they're gonna be a little more spicier. You could take your chiles out, but like I said, we all like to eat spicy food, so I just leave them in there to blend, but you could take them out, it's up to you. And I try not to put so much water in my beans because I like to have them kind of thick. But it's up to you guys how you guys like to eat your beans. So now, while my meat is almost done cooking, I'm going to throw my salsa in there. So my meat probably needs maybe like 5-10 more minutes. But it's cool. I'm just going to throw the salsa in there. So that way the salsa can start cooking with the meat. If my mom knew that I was starting a YouTube channel with her recipes, like, she'll fucking kill me, you guys.
She's gonna sue you.
Yeah, she's gonna sue me.
Bro.
So, we're just gonna keep it on the DL. We're not gonna tell her. Okay, so now that my beans are hot, now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna use this to start smashing my beans. So I'm throwing more beans in here because my beans came out a little watery. So I'm just throwing out the juice, and I'm throwing some more in there. And then also I just turned off my meat. So I let it cook with the chile maybe 5 or 10 minutes, and then I turned it off. It should be good to go. So now I'm just going to finish doing the beans. Okay, so this is the finished product, you guys. You can hook it up with some aguacate, some queso fresco, which is a mess, and your tortillas. This is what the finished product looks like. So yeah, guys, I hope you guys love this meal as much as me and my family like it. Let me know what you guys think about the recipe. If you guys do end up making it, tag me in your pictures, or even let me know if you make it and tell me what you think about it. But yeah, guys, so thanks again for watching. Hit the subscribe button if you guys want to continue to see more videos. And I'll see you guys on my next video.